You're listening to the Fierce Fatty Podcast, episode 67. When you think everyone hates you. Let's do it.
Perfect.
I'm Victoria Wellesby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author, and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident, fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money, and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty Podcast. Let's begin. Hello, Fatty. Welcome to this podcast episode. Thank you for tuning in. So great to see ya. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I this morning had a good old chin wag with friend of the show, Summer Innanen. I said to her, I can't mention you on the podcast again this week because I'm sure I've mentioned you the last 4 fucking episodes. Anyway, this whole episode is talking about a conversation that Summer and I had this morning, and we were laughing a lot about how sometimes we can think that everyone hates us, and I need to talk to you about it because I know that so many of you are gonna relate. And it's just so silly. It's just so silly. Why? So anyway, I have this 5-year diary thing. So it's like question a day for 5 years, and I'm on year 3 now. And so every day it's a different question and you do it for 5 years. And then, every year you go back to that and it's the same question that you answered a year before and the year before that, etc. And so you can see how your answers have changed. If you want one, I'm sure just Google 5-year question a day and you'll find it. It's really interesting because I'm always I'm a very much a diary writer. Kind of it's on my bedtime routine of writing in things and so the question last night was, do you hold any grudges? And I was like, no, not really. I don't have any grudges. But, do I have any negative feelings towards anyone? And I was like, no, I don't have any grudges, but I am really jealous of this person, this doctor in the public eye. And I was talking with Summer about this. I was like, you know what really gets on my tits? I'm just really having jealousy feelings towards this one guy who is a doctor who understands that weight loss doesn't work. And in all of the Facebook groups that I'm in, or the fat positive and health at every size Facebook groups I'm in, people are always sharing his image, being like, oh my God, this person is amazing. He's I think he's Jesus Christ, come again to save us. And I'm in love with him and stuff. And I like this guy. I like the fact that he's using his platform for good and educating people on science and how health is a very complicated issue, and it's really important that he is doing this work. But because he is a straight sized person and everyone's fawning over him and being like, oh my God, this is so revolutionary that you're talking about this stuff. And it's like, well, you know, fat people have been talking about it for many decades now. I'm feeling jealous. And he's got like a big platform, you know, many more followers than I do. And I was just like, you know, he's just getting on my tits that every group I'm in is just like always sharing his picture and stuff. And like, why? And it was like, I feel jealous. I just feel jealous. I feel jealous that people are not like, I don't know, worshipping me in the same way. I don't know if it's that, but it's, you know, jealousy that I am, I'm comparing myself to him and comparing myself to, you know, why is it that when I share my message, it doesn't kind of, I don't know. I don't even find the right words. I'm just jealous. Anyway, and so we were laughing about it, and someone was saying, oh yeah, I'm jealous of this person because this, and kind of how silly it is really, and saying, oh, I'm jealous because they're more successful or whatever. And we don't know someone's level of success from the outside, right? At all. Do we? No. Like, you can't look at someone's Instagram and be like, wow, they're clearly a millionaire, unless they're like, I am a millionaire, you know, or wow, well, they're like, they've got their shit together. Because really, do we know? You know, probably not. So, yeah. And would we want as many, and would we want that much exposure, like that many followers on Instagram? Like if someone could give you or me 1 million followers overnight on Instagram, would I necessarily go after that? Is that something that I want to achieve? Not really, not on purpose. Like if I have accidentally get like 1 million followers, you know, whatever, but the amount of kind of negative that would come with that as well, because more followers means more trolls, and I've already had my fair share of shit with trolls at the moment. And the more amount of followers doesn't equal more money in your bank account. This is a big one. Oh my gosh. So when I first started in like the online business world, I was like, okay, I know how you make loads of money in the online world. You just need to get loads of followers on Instagram. And so I spent probably 18 months posting up to 3 posts every single day, morning, noon, and night, spending so much time on my Instagram to get followers. And I don't know how many I've got at the moment. 25, 35,000? Let me check. Let's see. Oh, 31.2. 31.2 thousand. Anyway, and so I was like, okay, that's how you make money in business, get Instagram followers. And no, that is not how you make money in business, and it doesn't fucking matter. Yes, sometimes people will look at someone's Instagram followers and be like, ooh, they're a big deal because they've got X amount of followers, but it doesn't translate into being able to pay your rent at all. Like, I don't know who it was, but there was some Instagram famous person who had like millions of followers, and she was like, oh, I'm going to start a clothing line, and then she sold like 2 t-shirts or something. So yeah, anyway, so we were like kind of revealing these secrets of like, I've never told anyone this, but I'm really jealous of this person, and this is the silly reason why I'm jealous of them. And we were laughing, and kind of like getting down to it, it was like, well, we think that they don't like us. So this famous doctor that everyone's like, oh my God, it's the new Jesus. I'm like, oh, he doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. And it's so funny because it's so irrational. And I said to, I told Summer this story that, I don't know if I told you lot, that a few years ago I was visiting Ireland. So this is before I lived there. So I was visiting Ireland for, I think I stayed there for a couple of months over the summer. So I was visiting Ireland, and I thought, do you know what? This is going to be a great time to potentially meet British, Irish people in the fat positive world. And so there was one person who I really wanted to meet, very, very famous in the space. And so we had worked together on something before, and so I reached out to her and we booked a meeting. And so I thought, great. So because we booked a meeting, she lived in London, I booked my plane tickets and booked an Airbnb, all that type of jazz, to stay there for a few days. I thought, you know what, I'll make a little jaunt of it, and I'll book some other meetings with other people who I know are in London or near London as well, you know, who do this type of stuff, because, you know, let's make friends. You know, I'm big into, you know, connecting with people and making friends, like, because I just genuinely want to know people, right? So this is all set up, booked, great, got tickets, and then flew to London from Ireland. And so I'm, you know, messaging her, okay, great, so where is it that you want to meet, what day, what time, you know, because we'd already sorted that out, but, you know, where is it exactly and stuff. She never responded, never messaged me back, ever. Totally ghosted me. Totally ghosted me. And I'd flown, like, I'm here to meet you, and she didn't respond. I was like, what? Anyway, the next day I had a meeting with someone else, and this other person that I had a meeting with, also in the fat positive space, happened to be friends with her. And I was like, oh, so, like, I was meant to meet her yesterday, but I don't know, like, I haven't heard from her. I don't know what's going on. And you know, this person, let's say person one is the original person who ghosted me. Person two was like, I don't know, I know she can get really busy, and, you know, I kind of don't know about it. And, you know, we had a great lunch, and that was that. Went back to Ireland, carried on with my life, never heard from person one again. And so I made it up in my head that person one and person two had, I don't know, spoken about me, and they both decided, right, we don't like Victoria. And we have a little club of we don't like Victoria club, and we're not going to be her friend. Which is just silly, right? It's just silly. Like, this is the first time I'm, like, voicing this, apart from this morning, like, you know, in the back of my mind of, like, oh, they don't like me. Then, even though that one person two met me for lunch, but afterwards she was probably like, oh, I really hate her. And yeah, not really based in evidence. You know, there's not a lot of evidence there. You know, if someone ghosts you, really, it's hard to know what's going on, right? Who knows what's going on? I always kind of want to give someone the benefit of the doubt and not make it about me. But sometimes you kind of do, right? You're kind of like, but what if they do have, like, a secret Facebook group where it's like, we hate Victoria gang, and there's, like, they're inviting people to join, and and it's like 99.99999% sure that they don't not like me, you know, that they're just like, whatever, who cares, sort of thing. And if anyone shouldn't like anyone, it should be me for being stood up when I flew to another country, right? So it should be me that's kind of like, I'm really mad at that person. And maybe person one is like, well, I can't reach out to Victoria now because I did something that was inappropriate, and I ghosted her, and, you know, she probably didn't want to hear from me. And I'm like, well, that person hates me, and you know, we're both like, oh, they don't like me. And really, like, if I did hear from person one, like this is like, 3 or 4, 5, 4, 4, 3. This is years ago anyway. So if this person one did reach out to me, I wouldn't be like, oh, go away. I'd be like, oh, hey, and expect that there was something going on in their life. But the reason why I was thinking about this was that someone who is connected with person one and person two a couple of weeks ago had shared something that she was having an issue. So she was having an issue and she shared about it on Instagram. So this is person three. So person three is connected with person one and person two, and person three I'm connected with as well, like separate away from person one and two. It's like getting complicated. Anyway, so person three shared something on social media saying she's struggling with something, and I had gone through the same thing and come out the other side. And so I was like, do you know what would be really nice if I made a quick video, just like a minute long video, and be like, oh, this is my experience and like this is what it's like now, it's fine. And so I did that and I sent that to person three, expecting, being like, oh, she's gonna love this, she's gonna be like, oh, Victoria, so nice. And she saw it and didn't respond. And so because of the person one and person two and person three all being connected, I'm like, I was right, they all don't like me, it's true, this like deep dark fear about not being liked has come to fruition. Oh my gosh. And the reality is, that's my kind of irrational brain speaking, right? I don't actually think they've got a club, We Hate Victoria club, like, and I think that, this person gets so many messages and saw it and probably thought, oh, cool, and forgot to respond, and it's no big deal, right? So it's so funny why we do this. And Summer was saying, yeah, oh my God, I do this too. And I don't say to anyone, because if I say to anyone, it makes me sound like I'm really not, I don't know, like I'm not thinking straight or something. And also another thing happened. So I've got a friend, I know, it's true, I have a friend. So I have this friend, right? And me and another friend, we're going to do like a video chat, catch up, kind of get together in the end of 2020. And friend number one was like, I'm not sure if I can make it, but I'll let you know. And then friend one was like, actually, I can't make it. And so just me and friend two had a catch up, all good. And then friend number one said, let me get back to you when a time that me and you can catch up. Great. I didn't hear back from her. And this is like a friend who was kind of like, not like good best friends type of thing, but kind of like catch up maybe once a quarter type of thing. And so she didn't respond. And so then a couple of weeks ago, another friend, a mutual friend, not the other friend that this is getting really complicated. Another person that knows her reached out and was like, hey, do you want to catch up? And I said, oh, hey, yeah, do you want to invite the friend that couldn't make it the first time? And she said, yeah. And then she came back and said, actually, she's really busy and can't do it. And I said, oh, okay, well, let's do it. Just let me know when you can. And so we haven't booked anything. And so my deep, fear of not being liked that we all have, this deep, irrational thing, I'm like, oh, I've done something to piss her off. I must have said something sometime in 2020 to make her not like me. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is what is happening. And so I said to Summer, I was just like, oh, like, and this thing too. And she's friends with this person too. And she's like, you know what, actually, I know that she's going through a lot of stuff at the moment. And I was making it about me. But the reality, probably, because I can't guarantee it yet, the reality is she's probably just like, dealing with life. like most of us are, just trying to survive and do things. And if you've got anything else going on, and that you then, it's lucky that you managed to get out of bed in the morning type of thing, right? And so me and someone were like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, we're confident people, we think that we're good and that type of thing. And Summer pointed out that because we're in the midst of a pandemic, we are way more in our heads. We have not, depending what you would normally do, how much your life has changed during the pandemic, but a lot of the things that we normally do that keep our brains busy are not there. And then I pointed out a lot of the things that keep our mental health in check, like I know for me, are not there. Like, things like, being able to spend time with friends and over a meal and hug them and see your therapist face to face and go singing. Like, I'd go singing and go do all of these things, right? Things that would keep my mental health in check. That kind of has changed, and some of those things I can't do anymore. And so what can we control? Well, we can control how people perceive us. ? Can we? No, but we like to think that we can control the way that people perceive us, and we want to make things about us when really it's probably not about us. Like, this one friend who's just not responded is probably busy and dealing with stuff, and is probably, gonna message or whatever, or not. I'm going to message her. I've decided I'm just going to message her and be like, hey, you okay? And not make a big deal out of it, because really it's probably not a big deal. And I find it so amusing when I'm having these feelings of, oh, someone hates me, or I'm really jealous of that person. It all comes down to a feeling of lack, a lack in myself. That I'm not good enough, that I don't measure up to them, that I am an undesirable friend, that I'm not worthy enough. And that's the work that we're doing, right? This is the work of learning to love and accept your body is one thing, and learning that you're okay. You're okay. You don't need to measure yourself up against other people, because there's no kind of scale of who's the best person in the world, right? It just doesn't exist. And we can't compare. I can't compare my success to someone else's, because there's so many different factors. And what is success? Is it how much money you make? Is it how happy you are? Is it how much free time you have? Is it how much you can spend a day taking pictures of your dog and stroking him? Like, what is success? And we were talking about as well our podcasts and how we do it differently. And because I was like, I'm going to record a podcast episode this afternoon, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. And what I normally do, my process for doing the podcast is, one day a week I choose to do like the podcast, maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday, and the morning of I'll spend half an hour writing out notes of the stuff that I want to talk about, and then I have lunch, and then in the afternoon then I'll record the podcast. Sometimes I'll write down topics for things that I want to do in the future, and then kind of just like think about it for a bit. So like the episode that I did about sex, that was on the kind of ticket for about a year before I did it, because I was like, I'm not sure what I want to say, and I'm not sure how much I want to talk about my sex life. And so it took time for me to think about what feels good for me, right? But then there's other things which are kind of like topical that I just bust out really quickly. And Summer was saying, oh, it takes her like a week or two to do her episodes because she'll think about it, she'll come back, she'll, add notes and new ideas will come to her. And both of those, and then with my method is if I say something I don't like, then afterwards take it out, like if I'm, whatever, if there's something that doesn't sound right or I'm not getting my idea across in a way that I want, then I'll just go take it out after, whereas Summer will do it before. But what we are both doing is trying to present ourselves in the best light possible. Like trying, like this is not the main motivation, like trying to get you to like me, but I don't want to do a podcast episode and the result be Victoria's a knob, like that's not my goal. Like my goal is to spread this message and spread awareness of my brand and all that type of stuff, of my company, and for you to like me, right? Because if you don't like me, then what's the point? You wouldn't listen to the podcast, would you, if you don't like me? Maybe this is your first episode and you're like, I hate this person. That's fine. That's fine. And thinking about how, like, I will record an episode and then maybe during the week or the week that it comes out, I'll be like, what did I say in that episode? And like, oh, did that come across like this? And are people thinking that I actually really hate them, or I think they're less than in some way? And thinking about, am I communicating in the best way possible, or have I fucked up in some way? And trying to control how you perceive me, which is, it's not possible, right? And when I say this, it's not like something I'm thinking about on a grand scale. I'm not like, from the moment I wake up in the morning being like, oh, do they like me? Oh, I mean, it would just be like a, fleeting thought and of a kind of assessing how I'm doing type of thing. So it doesn't feel like disordered, but it's just something that I've noticed how I think it's pretty normal wanting people to like me. And it's normal, right? We need people to like us, because without other people, we would struggle to survive. And reminding myself of the fact that not everyone is going to like me. I know it's impossible to think this, but it's true. There are some people in the world who don't like me. And that's okay. That's okay. I've shared this before, but someone before my TED Talk said to me, it doesn't matter what you do on your TED Talk. If you just went onto the stage and just did a big shit, 10% of people will love you, 10% of people will hate you, and 80% will be somewhere in the middle. Like if I just went on the TEDx stage, pulled down my trousers and just did a giant poo, 10% of the world would be like, oh my God, that is inspired. That is art. That is amazing. I think more people would probably not like it. But anyway, because I was deciding about whether to take my clothes off or not, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to be my authentic self and just do it, because the 10% of people who love me will love me for being the authentic Victoria. So that's something that we all, and I, have to remind ourselves and continually remind ourselves, is that if you're being your authentic self, then there will be people who are just like, do you know what? I just really don't like that person. And that's okay. The types of people that would like me are probably the types of people that I would probably like myself. And the people who don't like me, I probably wouldn't like them either, because the people that don't like me, I am, if they especially hate me, they're probably from the emails I get of the people that hate me is, men, white men, not all men, white men, straight-sized, the people who they have the power that I'm saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't have the power. Anyway, and as well, thinking about everyone can get people to like them. Even fucking Trump. Trump has millions of people who like him and loads of people who love him.
And if someone like that can have people that like and love them, well, then you and I have got no problem. We are A-okay. As long as you're not like a massive bellend, there are probably people who think that you're all right. And I think that maybe there are a few people that think I'm all right too. And not everyone hates me. And not everyone hates you. It's not possible, right? And as well, something that I think about is we're all walking around in our heads thinking, am I okay? Do people like me? Maybe thinking, am I attractive enough? Am I presentable? Do I look silly? Am I likable? And so you're walking down the street, in your head is filled with these things like, do these shoes look okay with this outfit? Is my hair a bit wonky today? And then you catch someone's eye and you think, oh, they're staring at my hair. Oh, they think that I'm this and that. And that person who just walked by you, who caught your eye, is thinking, oh, that person's judging me. Oh, they think that this jacket is silly. Oh, they think that I'm this and that. And we're all just walking around being like, oh, please love me. And if we can get out of our heads for a minute, realize that you're fine. You're fine. You know, it's probably not about me. People probably are not thinking about me as much as I think they're thinking about me. They're just getting on with their day and they're like, oh, Victoria's messaged me. Cool. Whenever. Want to see her. Or don't, maybe. Who knows? So I'm going to send a message to my friend who hasn't got back to me and just check in on her. Instead of being like, why are you not responding to me? Do you hate me? Did I do something wrong? I'm just going to say, hey, are you okay? And she's probably going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm good, you know, or not. And hey, let's catch up. That's my prediction of what is going to happen. Versus, you know, that deep, dark fear of her not responding or her saying, actually, do you know what? I've realized that I fucking hate you. Like, I don't think that is going to happen, really. But if I let my ego and my fear talk, then maybe I wouldn't reach out to her. And then maybe the relationship would eventually dissolve. Who knows, right? But I'm not going to let that happen. So is there anyone that you're jealous of? That you're having, like, really you're measuring yourself up against them and you're telling yourself you don't measure up? Is there anyone that you think hates you? Is that rational? Is it rational? Do you think that they do have a secret WhatsApp group where they text each other being like, fucking hate this person? Do you think that is that real? Is that real? Or is that kind of like the deep, dark fear part of your brain? Although sometimes that can feel very real and very, distressing. But, you know, could be real. Maybe there are Facebook and WhatsApp groups of people saying how much they hate me. And actually, do you know what? You know Reagan Chastain? She's got a website of people and a whole Reddit forum of people saying how much they hate her. So for Reagan, it would be true. Obviously saying that with a very, empathetic, that's fucked. It is fucked. It's fucked. But for most of us, it's not true. And I'm sure, you know, if someone has made a hate website about you, you probably don't want to be friends with them anyway. So let's release all of these people who we think don't like us. Let's release that I think that they don't like me. We'll just let them get on with their life, or maybe we want to reach out to them. And actually thinking about it, I think so many people probably think that I don't like them. You know, I bet you so many people probably think that I don't like them because So I'm a really bad organizer in regards to organizing time with friends, like doing stuff on the weekends, that type of thing. I'm the type of person, Saturday will come and I'll be like, what do I want to do? Now, like, think about pre-pandemic. And then I'll be like, oh, let's see if XYZ friend is about, and I'll message them and they'll be like, oh, actually, no, I've got something planned. And they would have planned it like 15 years ago. And so I'm kind of like fly by the seat of my pants organizing. And whereas other people, they'll be like, oh, hey, let's hang out in 3 weeks time or whatever. And so I need more often than not, friends to reach out to me to say, hey, do you want to do something? And then I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm there. Because if they don't, then I won't, because then it would come to like a Saturday or whatever. And I'll be like, well, there's no point in reaching out because they'll definitely be busy. And then I kind of get into that rut, or that cycle. And so then, say, if someone is friends with me, we hang out, we have a great time, and then they're like, okay, well, I'll leave it to Victoria to reach out to me to hang out next time. Not that I wouldn't reach out to them, I would, but I maybe might not reach out to them as much as what I would want to, if that makes sense. Like, friends do well with me if they're just like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I'm like, yeah, so we just do it. I think I need to improve that about me. I don't know. It just makes it sound like I don't make effort. I do make an effort. I say, let's hang out to people all the time. But yeah, I need to do more forward planning for friendships. Like, instead of saying to people, hey, do you want to come out for my birthday? Like 2 hours before my birthday, maybe do it a couple of weeks or a month before, something like that. Hanging out for your birthday. Remember when we were able to do that? Oh, sad face. So yeah, I wonder how many people out there think that I don't like them. If you're listening to the show, you think that I don't like you? You're right. I hate you. No, I really don't have a grudge against anyone, and anyone, as long as you're a normal human being and not a bell end, then I like you. I like you. Okay, I like you. I like you listening. I like you. I think you're great. Okay? Especially because you're listening to my show, so you and I are probably going to get on. So we're friends, okay? I'm your friend. We're friends. Are you my friend? Yeah? Okay. Good. I'm glad we are friends. Okay. Ooh. It's like deep stuff. No one likes me. Oh my God. I have my new laptop that this week I'm able to record on it because I got an adapter for my mic to go in. Because you know how Apple likes to change their fucking adapters every 13 seconds. So I've got an adapter so I can put my mic in. And I don't know if the camera is as good as my old Mac, which seems like wrong, doesn't it? If you're watching on the video, tell me. If you're watching on YouTube, does it look as good? I don't know. It kind of looks a bit grainy or something. Maybe I need to buy a webcam. Yeah, maybe I need to buy a webcam. I don't know. You probably get them for like $30 or something. People who have webcams are probably like, no, stupid. They're like $300. Anyway, I'll look, see what we think about this video. But it doesn't make sense that it would be not as good as the old Mac, does it? No, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me today. I so appreciate it. And yeah, I feel good. I feel like we've had a bit of a therapy session here. I've talked about these feelings, and I feel like I'm able to release them, and all these irrational things, I'm able to release them, and maybe you're able to release them for you too. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. You've really helped me sort some things out in my mind, some of the bullshit. Yeah. Oh, something that I thought of was Brené Brown. You know Brené Brown, the author, and I think she's a therapist, some sort of thing. Anyway, it was really cool when she met Oprah. Not that I really watch Oprah, but I saw a clip of her saying the second time that she met Oprah, she's confessed to Oprah that when they met the first time after the interview, Brené Brown was like, Oprah hates me. And she was telling Oprah in the second interview that after the first interview, she thought that Oprah hated her, and Oprah was laughing, being like, no, I thought you were great. And I think Oprah said something like, I thought that you might not like me, but you thought maybe something I said was wrong or something like that. And Brené was like, no, that kind of, we're both being silly here. I know. Yeah. So, yeah. So it happens to everyone. It happens to Brené Brown and Oprah. So, yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And I am looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of this Fatty Podcast. And I'll see you later. Crocodile. Thanks for listening to the episode. And if you feel ready to get serious about this work and want to know when the doors open to Fierce Fatty Academy, which is my signature program where I teach all about how to overcome your fat phobic beliefs and learn to love your fat body, then go to fiercefatty.com/waitlist. Again, that is fiercefatty.com/waitlist to get your name on the waitlist for when Fierce Fatty Academy, my signature program, opens.